We had 2 goals wrongly disallowed in Caxias, and that's not going to happen again, you understand? That's in the past. I don't want to sit here complaining, whining. We could have won at the Maracanã, but
Maracanã dava pra ter ganho se tu tivesse.
no. But I'm still the kind of guy who believes in moving forward. Exactly. I still think that at Maracanã we could have won that game if we had a little more courage. I think the greatest affection I've received and still receive from Botafogo's fans was a privilege. I experienced the Brazilian Championship and the Copa Libertadores. I was in Buenos Aires. And the Botafogo fan is someone who has suffered a lot, who knows that for things to work out, it's never easy for Botafogo. There needs to be greater unity around the Lone Star. But when it's ours, it's ours. And I had faith, even with the players sent off just seconds into the game, that Botafogo could do it. And that day they were able to deliver the impossible. It was very enjoyable to live through this whole cycle of victory because I had a big disappointment with Botafogo. In '99, I would have been Brazilian champion, Copa do Brasil champion with Botafogo, and I would have scored the goals in the final alongside Bebeto with a very special squad. And it was a huge disappointment. We have to talk about that because of disallowed goals in Caxias do Sul.
If there had been VAR, you would have, yeah.
And a bit of lack of attitude here at Maracanã because a team that wants to win doesn't line up with 5 or 6 center backs. They go into attack.
And they had to win 2-1.
So let's talk about 99 because I know it's a very important chapter in Botafogo's history. And to this day, they're still chasing that title. It's a title that Botafogo is after, even after winning the Libertadores and the Brazilian Championship. Was 1999 the biggest frustration of your career? Because the referee disallowed that goal at Alfredo Giacone, and with everything that happened, Botafogo was the clear favorite. They had a great team. You and Bebeto up front, man, it was a pleasure to watch that Botafogo team play. Not to mention that the 1999 Botafogo jersey was beautiful.
So much. I'll add something else before you answer. It was Maracanã, a packed crowd, the biggest audience.
106,000 paying fans, but the crowd was even bigger.
They played for more than 100,000 people here.
The result of this, no?
And Botafogo at that crossroads wasn't the richest or the most powerful. It was a team, a new team that came together that year and kept improving and getting to know each other. And they put together a high-level Copa do Brasil campaign, and it was very tough. Because today there's all this technological help, and I was there on the field, so my perspective is definitely different. We had 2 goals wrongly disallowed in Caxias, and that's not coming back, you know? That's in the past. I don't want to sit here complaining about how we could have won at Maracanã.
Maracanã dava pra ter ganho se tu tivesse.
No, but I'm still the kind of guy who believes in moving forward. Exactly. I still think that at Maracanã we could have won that game if we had a little more courage. Exactly.
I think Gilson Nunes messed up, man. Bebeto was surrounded. The Botafogo fans, yes.
You were flying, young man.
A real thoroughbred out there?
And he said,
No, I was robbed.
he used that term.
I wasn't robbed. I don't want to, say, look, it was stolen, it was this, it was that, but the title should have been ours. Both by the rules, by the law, and in Caxias do Sul, we had 2 goals wrongly disallowed due to an unfortunate mistake by Marcio Rezende Freitas. And in Rio de Janeiro, then I put even more responsibility on us. Brilhão. Right, Botafogo, we had the obligation, what we were talking about here, when you want to win, you have to show that you want to win. You have to attack, you have to go to war. And you go in with a team where you want to play it safe, defend against Juventude at the Maracanã with more than 100,000 people. For me,
For my style.
lifestyle is unacceptable. I'm the kind of guy who goes for it, always wanting to attack. Because that's the foundation of life. If you don't have faith in yourself, go to sleep. That wasn't our thing.
No, man. Yeah, I
want to remember this. Come on. Let's recap. If you can recall moments from that day. We did this same exercise with Bebeto. When there was, like Esmigo said, the pregame talk, Gilson gathered the guys. Gilson, the coach of Botafogo, gathered everyone and said, we're going to do it like this. They were in the locker room there. How was it? Did the news drop right then? Tell us the truth, Rodrigo, because you're the kind of guy who doesn't beat around the bush.
No, it's really sad. I couldn't be out of this game for any reason, but Gilson preferred to play with an extra defensive midfielder. Right, with a defensive posture at home, where we didn't have 45 minutes to wait and see what would happen. We had to show that every inch of the field we had to dominate, bulldoze, and attack. So it's really sad to go into a game plan where you're playing against Juventude at home in a match you should have already won in the first leg and still come back with a cautious defensive stance at Maracanã. That's just crazy. So much so that at halftime, even before the halfway point of the game, the Botafogo fans were already calling for him because they knew there was someone on the bench who had that attacking drive.
Qualities to make it happen. Also, just to remind you, the 1-0 was for Botafogo, right? If Botafogo wins 1-0 because it's the Copa do Brasil. At that time, the away goal counted as 2. It had double value, so it was 2-1 in the first leg and 1-0 for Botafogo at Maracanã.
I want to know what goes through your mind as a young forward, kind of an attacking midfielder.
How old were you in 99?
23 years old.
What's it like to have 106,000 people shouting your name? That's gone now. There are no more 100,000 seat stadiums who ever got to experience that.
It's true.
Nowadays, the maximum is 85,000.
No, and we know what 100,000 Botafogo fans are like, right? That was something. There's an energy around Botafogo that we just experienced, Brazilian champion, Libertadores champion, and it took over, invaded Buenos Aires, ran over everything.
It's a hardened fan.
It's a passionate fan who suffered a lot, who had and still has a lot of faith in his team and knows when it's his moment. It's no one else's.
You were dying to get in. Then, as Smilgo rightly pointed out, 100 and something thousand people shouting your name. 23 years. The adrenaline kicked in.
You get all pumped up. You're there, bouncing.
The coach was like, look at him over there.
Salesman, damn, yeah. But you have to respect a hierarchy, of course.